What's going on? Welcome to today's video. My name is Colton, and today I'll be reviewing 3 power tools that I feel like every homeowner, renter, or self-proclaimed DIYer should have. Whether you're just starting the DIY space, you want to be prepared for home ownership, or as you're renting for any project that may come up, these 3 power tools I feel like will cover probably about 90% of the projects that you will encounter. The remaining 10% is probably up for debate depending on who you talk to, on what type of specialty tool you'll need in order to get that project done. You can also probably jimmy rig a lot of things with these 3 power tools as well, specifically 2 that I'll talk about. And all that to say, I did partner with Lowe's for this specific video, so a big shout out to them for a big thank you in sponsoring this video. Now also make sure to stay tuned after all 3 power tool reviews because there is a 4th tool. It is not a power tool, however, it is a supplemental tool. I will say that each one of these price points for these tools, fantastic. So let's get into it. So the first tool that I have here is a drill. I always go to my impact drill for probably 99% of the DIY projects that I'm doing. Unless I need the hammer feature and a little bit more torque behind it, this is what I go to. More often than not, you'll see a 12 volt, 18, probably even a 20 volt, but this is a 24 volt. So really cool to see a little bit more power in these tools. Let's go ahead and crack this one open. First opening it, there is the drill itself. We'll check that out in a second. I'll put that down here. And then there is a storage bag. Inside here you have the actual battery and then also the charging station for said battery. Instruction manual, 24 volt product lineup. Make sure to look through it because safety instructions, legal stuff, you don't want to be in trouble later. One thing that's also nice is this hook. I've found so many times that I have just wanted to take a drill and just hook it on my pants, my pocket, because I'm up on a ladder or something. And when you don't have it, it's really annoying. So this is really nice. Set this off to the side. The next one, an oscillating multi-tool. Man, they are so versatile. You're able to have so many different cuts with a multi-tool here. It provides you with a variety of blades already with this. A lot of other manufacturers actually just give you the tool and a battery and maybe 1 or 2 blades. So let's now open it. Also, this Cobalt oscillating multi-tool is part of the 24 volt battery gang. Important light reading. You have your bag, you have your charging station, you have your battery. This box is probably where all the blades are hiding. Yep, set that off to the side. And then the actual multi-tool itself. I'm not gonna demonstrate every single one of these. It's pretty cool that all of this was given in this kit. So let's set all this up to the side. Let's get into installing an actual blade here. So what you're gonna wanna do is make sure it's locked. You can't push that trigger. And you're gonna take this thing at the very top and you're gonna twist it all the way. One way, and I say all the way because it's just easier to do. This is going to stick out, so I'm gonna set it down and then I'm going to turn it. It allows me to take this off. Installing it, it just lines up like this. You put it down and then you just kind of find where it is. You spin it the direction that it locks and you'll see it's kind of loose here. So you want to also make sure that you're keeping this in place and then you release the lever on the top. You get it back to center so it's aligned and this is locked in. So we'll try this out. Let's set this off to the side for right now. The Cobalt 7 1/4 circular saw. Let's cut it open. Perfect. Again, instructions, very important. I feel like when taking this out, I should be grunting like Tim the Toolman Taylor. An attachment, I believe, for vacuum. You also want to make sure that you have this guide. No battery here. Is this the smallest saw that you can get? No, it's not. So this saw it's pretty hefty, pretty legit. It uses a 24 volt battery, just like the oscillating multi-tool and the impact drill here. Okay, so here are the 3 power tools I feel like everyone should have. An impact drill, a circular saw, and an oscillating multi-tool. Now, the type of brand that we're looking at, you can make a ton of arguments of which one's better than the other. There are a ton of videos out there also, but looking specifically at this Cobalt line, I've been pretty impressed with these tools. very ergonomic, really easy to handle, really comfortable to handle, and features about it, they seem very high quality, especially for the price point. The circular saw, you don't necessarily need a 7¼ circular saw, just because this is a bigger saw, but I would recommend a circular saw nonetheless. At least go 6½. That way, if you want to get into framing or whatever else, you're able to make those cuts with the 2x4. Now, what is that fourth tool? It's not a power tool, but I feel like it is supplemental for specifically the impact drill. A really good bit and driver set. This is a really good bit and driver set. All of these neatly tucked away, neatly organized. You have various hex, Phillips flathead, socket adapters. There's so many things. One, also, this is magnetic. Not all of these bits that come with like the extenders and stuff for the quick release are magnetic. This one is super, super nice. Okay, so now let's go demonstrate these products. Let's start out with the drill. Here's the basic 2x4 to demonstrate, but safety first. So this drill is actually very comfortable to hold. It's very ergonomic, and you can see here I installed the bit holder, and on the flip side, so you can hang it on your tool belt while you work or your pants. The light for this drill is right above the battery. A lot of competitors actually put their light right below the quick release or the chuck, and this quick release is pretty standard. You just pull out and then also put the bit in and then let go. I don't think you'll get any weird shadows with the light placement, but you'll also see at the bottom 2 different modes, a self-tap and a finish, and 3 different speeds. I'll do the 2 modes in a minute. I want to first play with these 3 different speeds, starting with 1. Now let's do 2. And finally 3. Now the 2 different modes, self-tap and finish. Self-tap first. And now let's do finish. Now we're going to pivot and change to the oscillating multi-tool. This tool also has variable speeds 1, 2, and 3. Let's first start out with number 1. Let's bump it up to 2. And now let's do 3. Here's a quick and dirty test at my attempt of cutting for 5 seconds at each speed. And here's essentially a safety switch. You push it in and it's locked, and then you push it out, release it, and you can pull the trigger. And now let's switch to the circular saw. The same 24-volt battery can be used for all 3 tools. Here you have your guard. You will have to move that when changing out the blade. And here's a little lock button that you need to press in order to secure the blade so it doesn't spin. Then you take this Allen wrench on the other side and then loosen the blade while pushing in the lock. If you don't, the blade will just spin like this. But again, this is only if you need to change the blade right out of the box. You shouldn't have to. Here you should have an attachment for a shop vac or a vacuum. And here, if you loosen this lever, you will then be able to adjust how deep or shallow your cuts are. But before you do any cutting, make sure this is locked down. At the front of the saw, there's another lever allowing you to make anywhere from 0 to 56-degree bevel cuts. There's also an adjustable guard that allows you to quickly set it to 22.5, 45, or 56. Now let's demonstrate it. Slip in the battery. Also be aware of the safety by your thumb. And also the circular saw has a light. Let's do some quick cuts to see how it does. Now let's get to some final thoughts. First, the drill. It's ergonomic, it feels good in the hand. The varying speeds is actually kind of a nice touch, but the finish and self-tap mode, I don't know if I'll necessarily use, but I can definitely see if someone is just getting into the game that this could come in handy. The one potential downside I see to this is the light placement. There's been times where I actually need to drill something and there's like a board right here or there's something in the way which would then block the light. Ultimately, do I recommend this? Absolutely. Next, the oscillating multi-tool. I do like the feature of the different speeds. Also, something that I didn't demonstrate is this light in the front. I actually haven't seen a multi-tool with a light like this, so that's actually really nice. With the trigger, you're actually able to control depending on whatever speed that you want. If you barely pull the trigger, you can actually get a very slow cut, which is kind of nice to control that speed. With a switch on and off, you don't get that luxury. Would I recommend this tool to someone? Absolutely. So this is a great purchase. Now for the saw. I will admit this saw is actually kind of heavy, but I like a heavier saw like this because I know I have all my bases covered. I think the biggest thing here is this saw actually has an electric stop, which is really nice. It actually stops the blade as you let go of the trigger in case you need it for any type of emergency. I didn't demonstrate a rip cut, and that's essentially where you take this, put it in, lock it, and then make a long cut. This hook feature on the top is actually kind of nice in case you want to carry it around for convenience and you don't want to set it down on the guard. I honestly don't know how much like night cutting you'll necessarily do with this saw and the oscillating multi-tool. However, sometimes you just need a little bit more extra light to make sure that you're cutting on the line or the mark that you made. And so that's really helpful. Also, there's a lot of black going on. I'm a fan of black. So there you have it. These 3 power tools I feel like everyone should have in their toolbox: a circular saw, an impact drill, an oscillating multi-tool, accompanied with a bit set. All these tools can be found at Lowe's, and also if you check the description down below, there's a link down there. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.